Okay, welcome back to GMSA at 9 o'clock. Preparations will be underway today for the 46th annual Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner. The call for volunteers opens up later on this afternoon.
So this year, organizers are preparing to serve more people as they continue to see an increase over the past few years of people needing help. Our Erica Hernandez visited with President and CEO Patricia Jimenez to talk about preparations for this year's dinner.
And then with the way things are now, loss of wages, increase in food costs, I think it has come time for us to expect more folks even this year. And so behind the scenes, not only are we pricing out and coordinating to prepare more meals, several thousand more meals this year, to ensure that we have enough for everyone that walks in the door.
And we will have more of that interview with Patricia Jimenez coming up later on today. We'll be live streaming it all at 10 o'clock. The official Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner kickoff. Cannot believe that. To sign up to volunteer for this entire process, it opens up at 1 o'clock today. All you need to do is go to their website. That's rauljimenezdinner.com/volunteer.
And switching gears to a reminder for parents out there as we get closer to Halloween, be sure to check your children's candy.
All right, good advice there. Authorities are sounding an alarm over possible tricks hidden in some of those treats. ABC's Perry Russum explains.
Police are urging parents to be extra vigilant this Halloween when checking the packaging of the candy their kids get.
I saw an ambulance truck come up to the school. I was like, what's going on over there?
Near Sacramento, California, several third graders got sick after eating candy later found to contain THC, the active ingredient in marijuana. The school principal says the packaging closely resembled regular candy, and the student who brought it to school had no idea what it actually was.
Today's candies that come from dispensaries looks exactly like the candy that you would buy in a grocery store.
A police department in Michigan warning in addition to weed candy, other counterfeit candy contains psilocybin mushrooms.
We thought to ourselves, wow, if a group of trained investigators looked at this and didn't pay any attention, what's your average kid going to do on Halloween? And we just felt we wanted to get this message out there to parents and children to be vigilant this Halloween season.
Authorities in Arkansas showing these examples of illegal candy-like products still sold in convenience stores. Police say the brands shown here are not behind the counterfeit products. A spokesperson for the National Confectioners Association saying the theft of intellectual property by cannabis companies is egregious. With consumer safety as our top priority, we advocate for common sense regulations to ensure cannabis-containing edibles are viewed as distinct from confectionery products.
Look for unusual symbols, unusual odors, anything that may indicate this isn't normal. And if you're a child and you're not sure what you have, go to an adult.
Police also reminding parents to keep marijuana edibles locked up away from kids. Perry Russum, ABC News, New York.
And we are going to have a cool Halloween, so that is good news there.
Yeah, Friday.
It's looking cool now. Thursday morning is going to be the coolest morning of all, but I think Friday night we'll see temperatures slip into the 60s, maybe some 50s, so good trick-or-treating weather as it stands right now. Let's talk about what's headed our way today. And the reason we're going to see some cooler weather by Halloween is all because of this front, and it is making some quick work of getting through Texas here. It has made it through the north half of the state, 61 in Abilene, 60 in San Angelo, 45 in Amarillo. So you see some of the cool air associated with this. It will make it here by early this afternoon. And when it pushes through, you'll know because the winds will pick up. It's not going to be a huge drop off in temperatures, but you'll notice a difference. 88 is where we're headed today. We reached that high temperature around 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon. Then the front comes through, and by tomorrow, we're going to be some 20 degrees cooler. Windy, there's a bit of fire danger involved there too as we get into tomorrow. Let me show you the wind gusts over the next 24 hours. Right now, winds are not that bad. But once this front moves through, we'll start to see some gusts 25 to 30 this afternoon. And then by tonight, we're talking gusts upwards of 35 miles per hour. I'm seeing some data that's showing me we could see some gusts close to 40 miles per hour tonight, and even some gusts 30 to 35 tomorrow. So we're in for a windy stretch. That leads me to my next advisement here is to secure your Halloween decorations, your inflatables. They're oh so popular these days. With these kind of winds, they will blow right on down the road. So I would do that this afternoon if you can, or just deflate them and keep them in the house for a couple days before you reinstall, because these winds do mean business. Also, Gusty winds paired with some very dry air tomorrow, not to mention we've had obviously sort of a drought situation. Yes, we did get rain this weekend, but not enough. And tomorrow, I think the fire danger is going to be through the roof. Extreme, in fact, according to the Texas A&M Forest Service. That's this dark red here, and that's as bad as it gets. So we have to be so very careful tomorrow. No outdoor burning, no fireworks. That goes without saying, but be careful with throwing cigarettes out the window or driving over grassy areas. All of these things can start a fire, and if a fire were to get started, then it would spread very quickly. And that whole area here, this is where we're going to see the strongest winds tomorrow, this quarter, which is why it's highlighted, but we can't emphasize that enough. The other side to all of this, once the winds die down Thursday morning, we're going to get temperatures in the low 40s. Now, tomorrow morning we're at 52, and that's chilly. That's definitely jacket weather, but it will most certainly be jacket weather Thursday morning and then again on Friday morning. Those will be our two coolest mornings, and then you see 53 Saturday morning. So yes, Friday evening for trick-or-treating will be a little bit on the chilly side. Thursday morning is the one I want to highlight, though, because with temperatures in the low 40s here in San Antonio, you can imagine that we'll see some very chilly numbers in the hill country. 35 Rock Springs, 36 Kerrville, 34 Fredericksburg, and I would not be surprised if a few low-lying areas touch 32 briefly Thursday morning up in the hill country. So that's what we have to look forward to. In the short term, right now, 72 here in San Antonio, 72 in New Braunfels, 73 Converse, 72 at Stinson. We've got a southerly wind still, pretty high humidity levels. And the forecast for today, hour by hour, 83 at noontime, 88 at 2 o'clock, 87 at 3 p.m. And it's right about this point where that front arrives. And then you see the numbers start to come down. 82 at 4 o'clock, 77 at 5 p.m. And it will be windy this evening. And you'll just notice a change in the overall feel of everything. Gusty winds, drier air, temperatures are starting to cool down, and it finally feels like fall, y'all. 68 tomorrow, 41 Thursday morning, 72 Thursday, 75 Friday. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to really dig into that trick-or-treat forecast. So make sure to tune in tomorrow. We'll get you set for all the festivities Friday night. 30% chance of rain Saturday. Don't forget we fall back Sunday. And as we talked about off the top of the show, Hurricane Melissa is going to do some big-time damage today in Jamaica. We're going to get you an update on what she's doing as she nears landfall coming up next half hour.
All right. Well, we will watch you for that. And also just to keep track of the wind here as well.
Yes.
Thank you, Justin.
All right. Thank you very much, Justin. Coming up in just a bit, holidays, they are right around the corner, obviously. So we're going to be talking about some holiday shopping for your food right there. After the break, how much you can expect to pay this year.
Welcome back. It's 9:24. Well, the cost of living has gotten more expensive for a lot of people, and a key inflation report released last week shows that prices have risen at the fastest pace since the start of the year.
Now, many consumers are feeling the financial squeeze at the grocery stores. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan looks at some of the prices here for key holiday staples and explains why your Thanksgiving meal will likely cost more this year.
The cost of food continues to rise. A key inflation report shows September grocery prices are up 2.7% from a year ago.
Nobody wins. We don't win, the customer doesn't win, the supplier doesn't win.
Stu Leonard Jr. is the CEO of Stu Leonard's grocery chain. He says tariffs have caused the prices of some items like shrimp to go up, forcing them to buy elsewhere.
We've had to stop buying shrimp from Brazil. We went down to Ecuador, even Vietnam and Thailand.
And it's not just seafood prices going up. Taking a deeper look at this latest inflation report, food prices for many popular ingredients in holiday dishes are up, meaning your Thanksgiving meal will likely cost you more this year. Potatoes, meats, fresh vegetables, bakery products, and alcohol prices are all up from a year ago.
It certainly adds up.
Bankrate financial analyst Stephen Cates says there are a variety of factors impacting prices.
Tariffs can have an impact, but crops can have an impact. Quality, quantity, sourcing, all of that can impact what that is.
The biggest sticker shock this season is turkey. The annual wholesale price for frozen turkey is about $1.32 per pound. That's roughly 40% higher than last year, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. There is some good news. Eggs and butter have both dropped in price in the last year. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Well, it's 9:29 now, and we're going to go back to some late-breaking news that we brought you earlier in the newscast. Happening on the northwest side, our Patty Santos is live at the Starlight Motel, which is near Fredericksburg and Vance Jackson Road.
That's right, a very busy scene out there this morning, and we're going to go to Patty right now to kind of give us the very latest information out there. Patty?
Hey there, so we just found out a few minutes ago that this has become a homicide investigation. I'm gonna get out of the way here, but you could see the fire truck that's still here. Investigators are still here. This has really just become a scene for the crime scene investigators. Here's what we know so far. A man in his mid-40s has died after he was shot twice in the chest in the parking lot of the motel. It's called the Starlight Motel. And again, as you said, it's on Fredericksburg Road. This happened sometime around 8 this morning. San Antonio police say there was some sort of disturbance between the people that are staying in this hotel and the victim. What they're saying is that it appears to be a domestic dispute, and unfortunately that man has died after he was being shot in the chest right here in the parking lot. That is the information that we have right now, and we're going to, of course, update you as we get that information on KSAT.com. We'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Patty. And welcome back. It is 9:31 now, and a new KSAT investigates over drones that could stop a school shooter in action in just seconds.
Okay, so this is a concept that's straight out of a sci-fi movie that can actually also could end up on your child's campus.
As a parent, if the worst happens, I want to know that I have the best possible team trying to save my kids' lives.
They're looking for new ways to be able to protect their kids. They've been through some false alarms that were very chaotic.
When you first heard the concept of drones helping take out an active shooter, what did you think?
I was, I've grown so much to appreciate the concept now, but my initial reaction was, no, this doesn't make any sense.
So 30 years ago, if you heard that a drone could be on campus to help stop a potential active shooter, what would you think?
Unimaginable.
Wow, very interesting stuff there. Well, this program is called Campus Guardian Angel. It's an Austin-based startup working to get these drones on school campuses across the country.
Well, Bernie ISD is set to be one of the first districts in the state to adopt the system. And KSAT Investigates' Daniela Ibarra has been digging into this and joins us this morning. And Daniela, you went out to Austin to cover the story. Tell us, first of all, we all want to know, how does this work?
Yeah, so I mean, you saw it right there. It's pretty impressive. So the company says that the goal for these drones is to confront a threat within 15 seconds. I want you to look at this video to see how these drones work. They use pepper balls, sirens, and you'll see it in a couple seconds, but they'll even strike someone. The drones are installed on campus, and once they're activated, they're actually operated by skilled drone pilots in Austin. So drones and Bernie will be operated in Austin. And the pilots use the cameras on the drones as well as virtual maps of the school to get to where they need to go in the school.
Okay, so very interesting that we have a local school district that's taking part in this, Bernie ISD. So, Daniela, based on what you've learned, why did they go ahead to sign on to do this?
Yeah, I mean, the goal is to keep students safe. So this is just another added security measure that the district is taking in place. The chief of safety and security says that the district has worked with its legal team to make sure that this is all good to go. And they say they hope that they never have to use this. We also spoke with the district's chief student support officer who talked about what they call a system of care, which is using teachers, nurses, and police to support students. That way they can prevent ever having to use this.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was also wondering, we were talking a little bit off camera about this is not meant to kill somebody.
Right.
Maybe hurt somebody or bring somebody's attention.
Yeah, really distract someone. I mean, I was out there. I actually stood out, and they have a little area where they do the practice runs of the drones. And I mean, it's loud. Even before you hear the sirens and you see the lights, it's distracting. Even if we were standing this close, I couldn't hear you with how loud the drones are.
Wow, so you could see how this works, definitely.
Yeah, and of course, we need to see it in action at a school.
Yeah, that's right. So one last thing here. I think earlier during GMSA, we reported that it would take anywhere from about 15 seconds to respond to an incident on a school campus. Is that kind of something you notice with just the speed of the drones? I mean, just kind of based on what you were able to see firsthand?
Yeah, so the company says that the goal is to confront an active shooter within 15 seconds. They actually hope to get the drones up and running within 5 seconds of getting the alert of a threat. And I mean, these things are fast. They sound fast. They whip right past you. it's honestly kind of crazy to see in person.
Is it technology they've been working on for a little bit? I mean, for a while?
Yeah, so this is a startup in Austin. They've only been around for a couple years or so. They're not in any schools in Texas right now, but Bernie's going to be one of the first ones, and they plan to install it sometime later this school year.
That'll be interesting to see. Well, thank you, Daniela, for joining us this morning and also tonight on the Night Beat.
That's right. So Daniela will have the full story here. KSAT Investigates gives you a closer look at these campus defense drones and also where this idea came from. Thank you, Daniela.
Yes, thank you. And let's look out there with a live cam. We're expecting that cold front, but not yet. But still 72 degrees with some sun coming through. We'll take that for now.
Yeah, it is going to be coming our way a little bit later this afternoon, Steph. So it will bring about some of those changes. I do, though, want to talk a little bit about Melissa. We're going to take a look, another live look at Jamaica. And it looks like we may have some connectivity issues there. But we do know that this hurricane, this massive Category 5 hurricane, is nearing landfall. So let me show you the satellite picture, and you'll see what I'm talking about here with this massive eye. This is just such a symmetrical, well-structured storm. So we know this is incredibly powerful. And as you look at the satellite picture here, just look at this thing. Look at this eye. I mean, that is just nearing the southwest coast of Jamaica, and I hate to say it, but this is sort of a worst case scenario. I mean, because the right side of that storm is just going to blast the whole island of Jamaica pretty much. And we are expecting, sadly, quite a bit of damage here. This is going to cause some major infrastructure issues, not only with storm surge, but with very gusty winds and winds sustained right now at 175 miles per hour. So I suspect landfall will be here shortly, here within the next few hours, and we'll continue to try to get you some live pictures coming out of Jamaica there. Meantime, here in Texas, we can see our front here very clearly. You see that line of clouds there just north of Waco, north of Killeen. That is the front. It is diving south. As I said, it will be here a little bit later today. No rain with this front, but gusty winds for sure. So we peak at 88 around 3 o'clock this afternoon, and then expect those very gusty winds to kick in. By 4 p.m., we could see gusts at that point close to 30 miles per hour. And it may get even windier than that tonight. Another look at that forecast for you. And those low temperatures, too, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Justin. Quick check of your traffic with our traffic authority, and things starting to clear out a little bit in the downtown area as we give you a look there. 35, 37, right before the Pearl. Traffic is looking good there. One more reminder, we do have that ongoing construction, the bridge joint work that's taking place 35 northbound from Martin Street, downtown at the Y, all the way up to McCullough. It caused a major backup this morning, so be careful if you're about to head out to the downtown area. Going to be making your way out for the rest of this week in that one specific spot.
Well, more than 75,000 people have made their voices heard by early voting this year, but there's a lot more than the Spurs that's at the polls also.
Several new propositions on the ballot aim to give homeowners across the state more than $10 billion in property tax relief. This is called Proposition 13, increasing the homestead exemption on your property taxes. That's the number that school districts and other tax entities can't tax you from, going from $100,000 to $140,000. This comes after voters approved another proposition back in 2023 that raised exemptions for homeowners by $60,000, and it passed by a wide margin.
Well, Texas across the state have reported that their property taxes rising without improving the structure of their home, and the land is what's getting more valuable in a lot of cases. So a local property tax expert says that several of her customers have said it is time for some relief.
It is not uncommon to see people struggle to pay those property taxes. I think a lot of people feel they've gotten out of hand.
Well, this year there are also some other propositions on the ballot that increase homestead exemptions for elderly or disabled homeowners and exemptions for small businesses. We have all of this online at ksat.com/vote. A reminder that early voting will run through Friday in Bexar County, and at least 76,000 people have voted so far, so the polls are going to be open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m.
And if you're looking to vote but do not want to wait in line, we're actually talking about that a little bit earlier off camera, we can definitely help you out with that. Here are some of the busiest polling places across Bexar County: Brook Hollow Branch Library, Lions Field Adult and Senior Center. That one's always pretty busy. In the Igo Branch Library. Now, some of the slowest locations are St. Philip's College, the Frank Garrett Multi-Service Center, and the Macedonia Baptist Church location.
All right, so maybe if you don't want to wait, go to the slow ones, but if you want some company, maybe
Yes.
you could go to the busy ones.
Yeah,
just
if you
to
want to
talk
hang
people.
out, you know what I mean? Just again, don't wear any Spurs-related
No.
gear or rodeo gear as
Gotcha,
well. Yeah.
gotcha. Good reminder there. Well, time now is 9:39, and we're at 72 degrees for now. You are watching GMSA at 9.
Okay, sticking with some school district talk here. New Braunfels ISD reopening their libraries. After the break, we're going to take a closer look at the law that made them closed to review their books in the first place.
Welcome back. It is 9:43. Well, after temporarily closing, New Braunfels ISD has reopened its libraries, and that closure was to review its catalog of library materials to make sure they were compliant with a new state law.
Erica Hernandez took a closer look at the law and the review process that books across all school districts must adhere to.
Students in New Braunfels ISD can start borrowing books from their school libraries once again. Last week, the district closed all campus libraries in order to review the catalog of materials to make sure they comply with Senate Bill 13. The bill gives parents more access to what books their kids check out and requires schools to have a review process for its materials. I took a closer look at the 81 books that New Braunfels ISD is closely reviewing. I put the list into ChatGPT to categorize why these particular titles were not compliant under the new state law. These titles, for the most part, had storylines that dealt with sexual content, violence, drug use, and profanity. So what does the review process look like? I did some more digging, and this is what I found out. The first step is compiling a list of books that may contain content considered harmful under state law. Step 2, a library advisory committee begins the process to review each title. In New Braunfels, some popular books like The Handmaid's Tale, Game of Thrones, and The Color Purple are included. Step 3, parents can challenge any title during the review process. And finally, the school board will make the final decision based off the recommendation from its committee. In addition to the review process, all new library materials coming into the library also have to go through the process to determine if they are compliant. The review itself can take some time. The books in question must be listed on the school district's website for at least 30 days before the school board decides if they stay or go. We have the full list of the 81 titles under review at the district on our website. Just search New Braunfels ISD on the homepage. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Well, here at home, we're expecting the wind to pick up a little bit, but nothing compared to
what they're seeing in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And it's about to, Melissa's about to make landfall, so that's why we kind of are continuing to update you today on what's going on with Melissa. And again, we pray for our friends down there in Jamaica because this is going to be a really, really rough stretch. This hurricane is about as strong as they come. This is the latest we've ever seen a Category 5 in the Atlantic Basin, but one of the strongest, mind you, that we've seen. It ranks in the top 8 now as far as strongest hurricanes. And this is about to make direct landfall here on the southwest side of Jamaica. And I would tell you, it's pretty much worst case scenario because this is the strongest part of the hurricane right in here that will sweep across the island. So hopefully preparations were made, and we pray that everything ends up okay, but it is going to be a rough, I'd say, next 6 to 8 hours here across the island of Jamaica. This is a Category 5 hurricane. Winds incredibly here. This is the new update, 185 miles per hour, sustained. Gusts will be higher than that. It's moving north-northeast at 7. So this is starting to pick up speed some, so that I guess that's a bit of good news, that this will move across the island a little bit faster. But this heads towards Cuba by early tomorrow, the Bahamas late tomorrow, and then eventually up towards Bermuda as we get into the latter part of the week. So this is a hurricane that is going to, unfortunately, I believe, do quite a bit of damage, and then it will move into colder waters thereafter. Meantime, here in South Texas, we have clearing skies this morning, at least here in San Antonio. A few low clouds, a lot of humidity for the moment as we await that cold front. 72 at the airport, 72 in New Braunfels. Converse's reporting side is back, 73 there, 70 in Bernie, 72 right now in Stinson, and still seeing a ton of humidity. Our forecast hour by hour, 83 noontime, 88 at 2 o'clock, probably our high temperature there. The front comes through, then we start to see some very gusty winds. Windy all the way through this evening. Temperatures will fall off. It won't be one of those situations where it's just, a quick 20-degree change, but you will see these numbers fall throughout the evening and tonight. Let me show you the satellite picture once again, and I think this very clearly illustrates where our front is at right there. And we can see that north of Waco, Killeen, there's Junction there. So we still have a little bit more time behind it. There is some low cloudiness, some much cooler air that is funneling into parts of North Texas at this hour. Now let me show you the forecast wind speed. These winds are going to be so very important going forward. So this is 6 o'clock this evening. We got gusts 30 to 35. That's substantial. That's why we talked about, wanting to put up some of those Halloween decorations, and this will be widespread, by the way. Then as we get into tonight, now I think this model occasionally kind of overdoes the winds a little bit. We're talking wind gusts here, but I don't think this is far off. Gusts to 40. It's even showing gusts a little bit higher than that in New Braunfels as we get into the midnight hour. And then by tomorrow morning, we're still talking about gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour. And then even as we get into tomorrow, we're still going to be talking about some very gusty winds, which brings us to our next issue. You get gusty winds and you get very dry air and you have an issue with fire danger. And tomorrow, the Texas A&M Forest Service is putting out an extreme fire danger for San Antonio, Kendall County, Beeville, over to Howitzville, Victoria, this whole area. If a fire were to get started, it would spread very quickly and could be very, very dangerous. So that is tomorrow. It's been a while, too, since we've had this kind of fire danger in the forecast. So please, please be aware of that. And then, of course, the other big story, too, is the fact that we will get some very cold temperatures by Thursday morning. 41 here in San Antonio. We can see 30s, Kerrville, Hondo, Fredericksburg. Could get down to freezing in Junction, at least briefly. So a brief freeze not out of the question in the Hill Country. Pretty incredible. 68 tomorrow. Gusty winds. By the way, we start off at 52 tomorrow, so that's also cool. As I've been imploring people all morning long, go find that jacket in the back of your closet because you will want it tomorrow. You will definitely want it Thursday morning, and you'll probably need it again Friday morning, and you may even need it over top of your Halloween costume Friday night. So I know it's been a very hot October, but don't get caught off guard tomorrow. I know how young kids are because I have a couple. They're going to show up in shorts tomorrow, and you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
Yes, so don't do it.
Okay, I will remind her, you better take that jacket.
Yes.
And maybe wear some jeans instead of the shorts.
Yes.
Thank you, Justin. Justin said.
What Justin says, the people do.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yes. Just remind our friends at SA Live, remember your jackets this morning for the week ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Jen, Fiona.
Good morning. Yeah, you want to rip those jackets out of that closet, right?
Oh, yeah, rip. That's a good word right there because we are talking about card collecting and ripping, right?
Ripping.
Ripping the packs.
It's a thing.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw, I know we have some video. There's a new shop open in the Bernie area, and it is a shop where you can go in, you can rip some cards, and yes, there you go, George Hill, right there. He pulled a card worth about $50,000-ish.
What?
And so I had to go check it out, of course. And, my first time ripping open some cards. So that leads to our question today because we were talking about how far back this goes and people collecting cards, and it's kind of changed. We'll take you in there in a bit, but that's our question today.
Yeah. What do you like to collect?
I used to collect football cards.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I had them all in my little, the little picture album things. Right. And then I would go through the book and it would tell you how much each one was worth. It was as a kid, it was very exciting.
Do you still have those, Justin?
I actually still do have them. I don't think they're probably worth anything anymore, but maybe.
You don't know. Could be.
I have a John Elway card.
Oh, nice.
That
There
would
you
worth
go.
something.
Yeah.
But you probably want to hold on to that.
Maybe.
I think so. For sentimental reasons. We were just talking in the break. Mine's not really worth a whole lot, but I've been collecting buckets, I guess, or Halloween.
The boo buckets.
The boo buckets from McDonald's, like every year.
Yes.
And then our producer Ainsley just went to Dunkin' and got the Halloween bucket over there, so you can get a bucket of Munchkins, and it's super cute. I wish he was back here so you could see it has a little spider on the top for the cover. And then just yesterday, my husband's like, we don't need any more buckets.
No more buckets.
No more buckets.
No more boo buckets in the house. Steph.
I was like, of course we need more.
Yeah. For me, it's Furbies and Beanie Babies. Just plain. No.
I was like, what?
No, definitely not. I'm on the same boat as Justin. I collected a lot of old trading cards back in the day, football, basketball. I had old David Robinson ones. So yeah, good times. Good times.
I believed you.
Thanks, guys. Oh my gosh, very cool. So we want you to scan that QR code. Let us know what you collect. You may see it in the show.
Yep, and speaking of, all right, if they want to know how much a card's worth, this is the guy right here, Jason.
This guy.
Primetime Sports Cards with us today, and we are going to do some ripping, right?
We're going to rip.
Right here?
Yes, ma'am.
How much are those
We're gonna
worth,
rip it
possibly? I know.
Unlimited amounts, right? We're looking for that sought-after Cooper Flag rookie.
Yep.
So we all know George hit a big one, so yeah, anything's possible.
Okay, we're going to do that in a bit. You guys stick around for that.
All that and more when SA Live continues in just a few.